A heart-touching story of true friendship. In a small village nestled among rolling hills and lush green fields, there lived two friends whose bond was as deep and unshakable as the roots of an ancient oak tree. Their names were Oliver and Benjamin. Oliver was the son of a modest farmer, while Benjamin was the son of the village blacksmith. Despite the differences in their backgrounds, the two had been inseparable since they were children. Their friendship was forged in the fires of shared experiences, from the innocent joys of childhood to the more profound challenges of growing up. Oliver was a boy of gentle spirit, with a heart as pure as the morning dew that glistened on the village meadows. His eyes sparkled with kindness, and his smile had a way of warming the hearts of everyone he met. He was always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need, whether it was helping his father tend to the crops or assisting an elderly neighbor with their daily chores. Oliver's kindness was not a show. It was a reflection of his inner nature, a deep-seated belief that the world was a better place when people cared for one another. He lived by the principle that true happiness came not from what one could get, but from what one could give. Benjamin, on the other hand, was a boy of great strength and courage. His broad shoulders and muscular arms were a testament to the years he had spent working alongside his father in the blacksmith's forge. But beneath his rugged exterior lay a heart of gold, a heart that beat with the same kindness and compassion that Oliver possessed. Benjamin had a fierce sense of loyalty, and there was nothing he would not do for the people he cared about. He was the kind of friend who would stand by your side in the darkest of times, offering his strength and support without hesitation. Benjamin was often quiet and reserved, but those who knew him well understood that his silence was not a sign of indifference, but rather a reflection of his deep thoughtfulness. The bond between Oliver and Benjamin was something that everyone in the village admired. They were like two sides of the same coin, each complementing the other in ways that made their friendship stronger. They spent their days exploring the forests and fields around the village, fishing in the clear streams and dreaming of the future. They talked about their hopes and aspirations, and they made a pact that no matter what happened, they would always be there for each other. Their friendship was not based on convenience or circumstance. It was a true and genuine connection, built on trust, respect, and love. As they grew older, the challenges they faced became more significant, but their friendship remained steadfast. When Oliver's father fell ill, Benjamin was there to help with the farm work, often taking on the most arduous tasks without complaint. He would rise before dawn to milk the cows and tend to the fields, and then spend the rest of the day at the forge, helping his father. Despite the long hours and the physical toll it took on him, Benjamin never once wavered in his support for Oliver. He knew that his friend needed him, and that was all that mattered. Likewise, when Benjamin's father injured his hand in a forging accident, rendering him unable to work for several months, Oliver stepped in to help. Though he had never worked in a forge before, Oliver was determined to do whatever he could to ease the burden on his friend. He spent hours by Benjamin's side, learning the craft of blacksmithing and doing his best to keep the business running smoothly. The work was hard, and Oliver's hands were often blistered and sore, but he never complained. He knew that Benjamin needed him, and that was enough to keep him going. The challenges they faced together only served to strengthen their bond. They learned to rely on each other in ways they never had before, and their friendship grew deeper with each passing day. They shared their burdens, their fears, and their dreams, and in doing so, they discovered that true friendship was not just about the good times, but also about being there for each other when things were tough. They learned that friendship was not just about words, but about actions, about showing up when it mattered most, and about standing by each other's side through thick and thin. One day, a severe drought struck the village, threatening the livelihoods of everyone who lived there. The fields that once provided abundant crops were now dry and barren, and the streams that had always been full of clear, cool water had dwindled to mere trickles. The villagers were worried, as the drought showed no signs of letting up, and their food supplies were running dangerously low. In the midst of this crisis, Oliver and Benjamin knew that they had to do something to help their community. Together, they devised a plan to dig a well in the village square, hoping to find a new source of water. It was a daunting task, one that required immense physical effort and determination. But the two friends were undeterred. They gathered the necessary tools and supplies and began their work, digging deep into the earth day after day, even as the sun beat down on them mercilessly. Their hands became calloused and their bodies weary, but they refused to give up. As they worked, the villagers watched in awe, inspired by the dedication and perseverance of the two young men. Some of them offered to help, and soon the entire village was involved in the effort. It was a true testament to the power of friendship and community, as people came together to support one another in their time of need. After weeks of hard work, their efforts were finally rewarded when they struck water. The well quickly filled, providing the village with the precious resource they so desperately needed. The relief and joy that followed were immeasurable. The villagers celebrated their success, but they knew that it was Oliver and Benjamin's friendship that had made it all possible. Their bond had not only saved the village from the drought, but had also shown everyone the true meaning of friendship. It was a friendship that transcended personal gain, one that was rooted in selflessness, sacrifice, and a deep, abiding love for one another. As the years went by, Oliver and Benjamin continued to be there for each other, through all of life's ups and downs. They remained close friends, their bond only growing stronger with time. They each married and started families of their own, but their friendship never wavered. They shared in each other's joys and sorrows, always knowing that no matter what happened, they could count on one another. In their old age, Oliver and Benjamin would often sit together on the porch of Oliver's farmhouse, reminiscing about the adventures they had shared and the challenges they had overcome. They would laugh about the time they got lost in the woods as children, or the day they built a raft to sail down the river, only to have it fall apart halfway through the journey. But they would also reflect on the more profound moments, the times when their friendship had been tested and had emerged stronger than ever. One day, as they sat together, watching the sun set over the fields, Benjamin turned to Oliver and said, "You know, my friend, we've been through so much together. I don't know what I would have done without you all these years." Oliver smiled, his eyes full of warmth and affection. "And I don't know what I would have done without you," he replied. "You've been the best friend a person could ever ask for." Benjamin nodded, his heart full of gratitude for the friendship they had shared. "We've been blessed," he said softly. "True friendship is a rare and precious thing, and I'm so thankful that we've had it in our lives." Oliver reached over and clasped Benjamin's hand, a gesture that spoke volumes. "I am too," he said, "and I always will be." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Oliver and Benjamin sat in companionable silence, content in the knowledge that their friendship was something that would last forever. It was a bond that had stood the test of time, one that had weathered the storms of life and had emerged stronger and more beautiful with each passing year. And as they sat there, two old friends who had shared a lifetime of memories, they knew that their friendship was indeed the most valuable treasure they had ever known.